So is this guy actually stuck? He's actually stuck? Or it's just the attack animation? Alright, you can calm down now, alright. Whoa! It disappeared. Hey, what is up guys? Guitar here, welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Alright, today we're gonna talk about Benett. I'm gonna hopefully make a guide on how I built my Benett. Alright, so hopefully this will give you guys an idea of why I decided to go this route. Alright, first things first, let's talk about Benett in general. Why is this guy so good? Like, why is he so good? He is literally too good, and some might even argue that he's the best 4-star. Yeah, I would actually say that he's actually the best 4-star. We have all the good ones like Fischl, Xiangling, Sucrose. He's definitely up there for sure. Like, if you compare to a lot of other 4-stars, he's even better than some 5-stars, which is crazy. Alright, so the reason why Benett is so good is because he does a bit of everything. Alright, he can heal, okay, he can deal damage, he has very fast energy generation, right? So even if you don't need it on him, you can give it to your teammates. Alright, if you guys are not aware, so when you use any skill, for example, I'm going to use my elemental skill right here, boom. So can you guys see that 3 particles coming towards me, right? So that is to recharge your elemental burst. So you saw how fast his elemental skill charges up, right? The cooldown is like 4 seconds. Look at that Q, that bar, it's empty, it's 0. So let's use an Benett. Gonna go here, disturb the slimes. I can boom, swap to Sucrose. Look, or I can keep doing that. Okay, boom, swap to Sucrose. So I get the energy. So since Benett is a fire type, right? And Sucrose is an animal type, so the energy recharge is not super fast, but it helps you. Like, if you build your Benett towards the energy recharge, he can recharge his energy super quickly. Alright, so that is going to help him to be able to spam his ult extremely quickly as well. Alright, so he has multiple charges for this skill. Alright, this is the basic one, and he has this one which you can hold. Alright, and the third one basically lunges you into the air. Alright, boom. And if you have a shield on you, on your Benett, your Benett will not fly into the air like so. So having a shield, something like Zhongli's shield in advance, right? So you can use Noel's shield, I think works as well, and Diona's shield works as well. So this will not launch you into the air. So having that, having a shield characters paired with Benett is really good. I think Xinyan is a good pair for Benett as well. Okay, so in terms of Benett's auto attacks or his normal attack, I actually am not a big fan of this. So if you use Benett as a main DPS, which you can by the way, it's definitely very usable. Alright, Benett main DPS, I've seen this a couple of times. He is really strong, he is insane. I don't think you want to focus on using his normal attack that much. I know main DPS usually means that you are going to be auto attacking a lot, but his numbers are quite low. Alright, you can see 48.2%. I mean, I'm going to compare with someone like Xingqiu, for example. At level 4 is 59%. I don't know. I feel like Benett one is slightly on the lower side. Not as low as Chi if I'm not mistaken, but definitely slightly on the lower side for sure. Okay, so he doesn't really need this because he can spam his passion overload like crazy. Okay, so again, this skill, like I show you, has 3 different levels. Alright, the press is something that you're going to use very often, just pressing this, and it recharges so quickly, it gives you a bunch of energy particles in return, right? It's just so good. So if you are using Benett, ideally normal attacks, his first 3 chain are probably the best one. 1, 2, 3. So these are the fastest one. So the 4th one and the 5th one, there's a lot of delay. So I would say go for the 1, 2, 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and E, right? So I think that would be the best one. Because if you try to go for the 4th one, can you guys see there's a delay right there for the 4th one and the 5th one? So it usually takes longer. I don't really recommend going for the 4th and 5th chain. So 1, 2, 3 and E, I would say is the bread and butter combo if you want to try to get as much output damage as you can. Alright, now let's talk about Benett's elemental burst. I think this is where his kit really shines. So this particular skill, okay, it has 2 criteria, alright, to help you guys understand, because if you read this, it can be really confusing. Once you do this, there'll be a big circle. Alright, if your health is below 70% or equals to or below 70%, you will regenerate continuously. And this regeneration scales off Bennett's max HP. So ideally, if you build a support Bennett, you want to go for the max HP for sure. Alright, which is what I'm going to show you guys on my artifacts later. I have a bunch of HP. And if the character that's on the field has 70% and above HP, right, they will gain attack bonus. Alright, and this attack bonus scales off Bennett's base attack. So this is really cool. This makes building Bennett really simple, really easy, and really cheap. Why is that? Because number one, he gives buffs based upon his base attack. So what triggers or what affects the base attack? If you go to attributes, you go to details, notice there's these two numbers. Number one is this white number right here, and number two is this green number. So base attack is everything from the white number. Alright, so the green numbers are the artifacts usually. The percentage attack and everything that will be calculated right here. So the base attack, the only thing that affects this is your level and your main weapon. Alright, so your weapon affects a lot. So that's why a lot of people, they give their Benett like 5-star weapon, something crazy. So I have prototype Rancor on my Benett, and I'm going to explain why shortly. Alright, so this gives a decent chunk of base attack, 497. So this will be taken into calculation, right? And it gives a lot of buffs. This means, alright, if you look right now, I'm at level 6. So I'm going to get 78% attack bonus ratio, which is really high. But C1 Benett removes this restriction. Alright, if you have Constellation 1, which is why Constellation 1 on the Benett is really good. Alright, it's not like a must, you know, but it's insanely good. This gives your Benett an additional 20% of Benett's base attack. So you saw I have like 70%. So it's going to increase it to 90 something percent, which is crazy. And it also removes the HP restriction. You don't have to be above 70% HP. So if your HP happens to be below, it doesn't matter. Alright, it will remove that restriction completely for you. So that is the good thing of Benett. So looking at his two other talents, okay, so he also has Rekindle. So decreases Passion Overload's cooldown by 20%. So this is why his E elemental skill has very fast cooldown. It's crazy. And moving on further, he has Fear Not. Alright, so within the area created by Fantastic Voyage, Passion Overload takes on the following effects. Cooldown is further reduced by 50%. Crazy. And Benett will not be launched by the effects of charge level 2. Alright, so he will not be launched if you charge all the way. And of course, he has one of the best passive ability. Alright, a lot of you have Benett, you know. Alright, you can always send him to Expedition, and the reduction time by 25% is a lot. And they improve it in 1.1 where you don't have to worry. Okay, so you are not being forced to not being able to use the characters. You still can use them even though you send them to Expedition. So that's a good thing that they have in patch 1.1. Speaking of which, let me showcase Benett and how strong he is. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna fight this random group of Helicrows right here. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what's the idea here. So, I have built my Benett towards the energy recharge side. Okay, so we're gonna spam Q, bam. Alright, so look, I'm gonna use my E. Okay, it doesn't matter if they smack me. I'm gonna use my E again. Look at his elemental skill. This cooldown is insane. Alright, it's just insane. And now I have my Q again. I have my elemental burst again. Boom. Alright, I'm just gonna use my E. Just gonna stand here. Just gonna use my E. Not like they can do anything to me, right? The amount of heals you get in this circle is insane. He heals every second. Alright, as opposed to Diona's heal. Alright, similar skill, right? But Diona's heal is every 2 seconds. Bennett's heal is every second. You are getting that insane. Like, look at this. Boom. Right? And then now I have the skill again. Right? And then now I have the skill again. And now I have the skill again. Look at how spammable is this. Look at how spammable is this. This is crazy. Alright, in Spiral Abyss, this is really useful. It's gonna allow you. And look, I have my elemental burst again. Boom. Boom. So this guy, he does a lot of things. Alright? He boosts your allies' attack, he heals, he has insane energy regeneration, alright, which allows him to spam his Q more often, his elemental burst. He can generate energy particles every few seconds, and he's a pyro character, means he's very useful for Spiral Abyss Floor 12. Okay, So if you're Bennett at C0, here's what's gonna happen, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the Fantastic Voyage, which is the Elemental Burst, will have two things. So if I use my Elemental Burst right now, and if I swap to someone who is low HP, like Sucrose, look, I'm healing for 2.5k every second, until 70% HP. So that's the limitation, right? Your character doesn't heal past the 70% HP, which is a big limitation that Bennett has. Because he's so broken, he can do almost everything. I feel like this limitation is a must, alright? So he can never heal your character past 70% HP. You cannot go higher than that. But it's not such a bad thing, okay? Because the way I see it is like, if you have like level 70 to 80 characters, you probably don't really need this 70% HP anyways. And look at the amount of buffs my Bennett is giving my Klee. Alright, my Klee has 2.8k attack. Alright, let me swap her away. So on normal times, without the buff, my Klee has 2.3k attack. So that's almost 500 to 600 attack buff, which is crazy. Alright, considering that my Bennett is only using a 4-star weapon. Alright, so let's jump into the weapons, gears, and artifacts. Okay, so Bennett is a relatively budget-friendly option if you are free to play because he is very cheap to build. So like I mentioned, you don't really need to bother about having good artifacts. Alright, you just need HP percent, you just need his levels, you just need good weapon. So what I have on him right now is a prototype Rancor. So why do I choose this particular weapon on him? Because this is the best 4-star weapon I have. I do not own a 5-star weapon. But if you own something like a Skyward Blade, if I'm not mistaken, that's the best in slot for Benett. Now the Skyward Blade, as you can see, has energy recharge. So energy recharge is going to be super good on Benett, alright, alongside with this being a 5-star weapon. So that means that you will get very high base attack. Now if you don't have Skyward Blade, the next best option that I've seen players using is a Sacrificial Sword. Now I'm not a big fan of this on Benett, to be honest, because number one, I have a Xingqiu. Now I do prefer Sacrificial Sword on Xingqiu because this is going to help my Xingqiu to be able to generate his elemental burst more often. Now if you don't happen to have a Xingqiu and you have Benett and the Sacrificial Sword, I do think that this is a decent weapon, decent choice. Now another good option is also to have Favonius Sword. Alright, I think this is a decent option. It has decent base attack, energy recharge, and of course free to play weapon. Alright, we have a few other options such as the Skyrider Sword, alright, which gives energy recharge, and also what I'm currently using, which is a prototype Rancor. Now not every 4-star weapon has the same base attack. If you look at the prototype Rancor, and if I compare this, 497 at level 80, the Sacrificial Sword at level 80 has 401 base attack. So this weapon, alright, has almost 96 more attack compared to a Sacrificial Sword. Now I do think that having more base attack makes more sense because you can substitute energy recharge in the artifacts, which is what I have. Alright, so I substitute an energy recharge Sense of Eon to help me boost my energy recharge. So ideally for Benett, if I'm not mistaken, you want to have at least 190 to 200% energy recharge. So that is going to ensure that you can constantly spam his elemental burst, his Q. So artifacts wise, this is what I have on him. Relatively budget friendly. These two sets, alright, the Exile set right here, is what I have before I've been using on my main Traveler, Lumin. Alright, he has crit rate, he has crit damage, he has HP percent, which is perfect on him because he needs as much HP as he can to be able to heal more. Alright, and I have the flower right here, which gave HP percent again, attack percent, and elemental mastery. So these two paired together will give me the energy recharge that I need, 20%. And on the other one, I have Noblesse Oblige, which is a 2-piece set to increase elemental burst damage. Now ideally, if you want to, you can go for full Noblesse Oblige, but because I constantly use my Benett alongside with my Xingqiu in my Spiral Abyss team, so Xingqiu already has the 4-piece right here. And this effect cannot stack, unfortunately, so you only need one. You can only have one character with a full set of Noblesse Oblige. So Xingqiu is, you know, the true owner for the Noblesse Oblige, so I don't really need Benett to have another one. So therefore, I'm just going for 2-piece right here. Alright, so in terms of the circlet, I have HP percent. As you can see, this is a plus 12 circlet. Alright, it has defense percent, it has elemental mastery, flat HP, and energy recharge. If you already have HP percent on your main stat, you cannot have HP percent on your sub stat. Alright, so on my Goblet, I have Pyro damage bonus. I do think that Pyro damage bonus is going to be the most beneficial one for Benett because he is going to be able to deal a lot of Pyro damage, right? Ideally, when he uses his elemental skill and elemental bursts, it all depends on his Pyro damage. So you can go for HP percent if you want him to heal more, but his heal is more than enough in my opinion. So I don't really need like HP percent. I don't really need him to heal 3000 or 4000 HP per second. 2000 is honestly more than enough. Alright, so having this is going to be much more beneficial in my opinion because you want to balance out his damage, his healing, and of course his energy recharge as well. Alright, so HP percent here, energy recharge here. This is a plus 12 Goblet. And lastly, I have a plus 20 energy recharge Sense of Eon. Alright, this gives 51.8% energy recharge. So like I mentioned, I would prefer to slot in energy recharge artifacts over having energy recharge on your sword. But in the future, if I ever get a Skyward Blade, I will most likely replace this with something else, either HP percent or just more attack. So this does have pretty good HP percent right here, 14.6%. So yeah, this is what I have for my Benett. So his attributes is not that amazing. Again, I'm just mostly using him as a support. This is not a main DPS. I just constantly swap him in once in a while just to swing his elemental skill, just to heal, you know, those things. And he has been serving me extremely well. Very, very useful in Spiral Abyss. If you look at his skills right here, right? Something that I forgot to mention. His elemental burst imbues characters with Pyro. Alright, this doesn't mean that he gives the character and converts their attack to Pyro. This just means that your character will have the Pyro effect as opposed to the Cryo effect. So on floor 12, this is going to be really, really good because it's going to remove that condensed ice effect, right? I'm not sure if they are going to change it after the patch in patch 1.2, but the condensed ice effect is very annoying. That means you will have increased stamina consumption in everything you do. When you dash, when you use your skills, alright, it will consume more stamina. So this will help to remove that effect from you permanently. It's actually a very good one. And this makes Benett extremely strong in Spiral Abyss floor 12. So if you are struggling right there, consider building yourself a Benett. He is going to be insanely helpful. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of Benett. If you guys intend to build him, or if you guys think he's not worth building because, I don't know, he looks dumb or whatever. Whatever reasons you have, alright, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.